Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are now live with BB3 TV.
Hey guys, thanks for jumping in here today. I do sincerely appreciate it. Do me a favor, the same thing we always do. Tell me where you're watching from. I always like to know who I'm talking to, who's watching from where, and then we will get rocking and rolling. Let's get at it. All right. So I hope everyone's having a good week. Everyone's recovering from a long 160th anniversary in Gettysburg. Couple of people stayed for our event and went over to the next one. And I hope everybody had a good time. All right. Hey, Stacy, thanks for jumping in. West Coast is the best coast. That's got to be Lisa, even though it just says Facebook user. North Carolina. All right. YT. Lee, how's it going? All right. Appreciate you guys all jumping in here. Duncannon. I don't know why it shows y'all as Facebook users, but it doesn't show your names for some reason. All right. Thanks for jumping in, Matt. Appreciate it. There it is, Matt Fox. There's another one. Coming at you from the sweetest place on earth, Hershey. Sharon. All right, cool. North Idaho. All right, cool, guys. Thanks for telling. Keep going in here, and we'll. Hawaii. How's it going? All right, guys. So listen, I hope everybody had a great 160th here in Gettysburg. I hope everyone that traveled, everyone's travel was safe. Hope everyone had a great time. Yeah, you could be in here. All right, Mechanicsburg, York. All right, appreciate you guys all jumping in here. Gulf Coast. Awesome. All right, appreciate it. So as everybody knows, man, it was a crazy 160th. Folks came from all over the planet to attend our event, and I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that. How incredible it was to meet a lot of you, and having just this massive group of people come together under the same cause, under the the same for the same thing, and to promote history. And bring remembrance and honor and remembrance to these guys who fought and died on these fields here in Gettysburg. And what a true honor it was for me and our staff to be able to give you guys a place to do that. So sincerely, I do appreciate you guys trusting us and coming out and giving us an opportunity to show you that the PCWA is real and we do genuinely care about this hobby, but also teaching the Civil War. So it's definitely something that I'm humbled by it. And we had folks from Germany, and we had folks from Australia, we had folks from France, and all kinds of other places, and just folks that drove from Wyoming, with horse trailers. And it's just mind-boggling to me what you guys are so willing to do and sacrifice so much for this thing that we love to do. And what an honor it is for me to sit here right now and just be at the back end of this thing thinking, holy cow, we really did it. We pulled it off. And really, we couldn't have done any of it without you guys. So my hat's off to you. My sincerest gratitude and thanks. All right, I'm going to jump in here. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. The Germans were very awesome. Yes, they were so cool too. I'm not sure who you are, Facebook users. You can see I can't see your name. Neil, you hit a chord with the rank and file, our hobby. Well done. Yeah, so if you guys are following the page, you see that there's a lot of pushback. A lot of people, excuse me, I'm still recovering my voice from that weekend, so it's just coming back. But I'm getting a lot of pushback for the way that we did things. You know, we set standards and we tried to put a high bar on standards, and some of this stuff got past us. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed when I was out there, I was running around like crazy all over the place. Just, it was really difficult for me to be in one place for any amount of time. And my hat's off to all of the staff who was there to help out. Lisa, who came in from Oregon, who flew in to help us out. And look, I have a whole list of people that I'm going to thank here, and they're all part of that, but it really could not have done it without them. And they made it go so much better. So y'all know that we had a really difficult time with getting the registrations and stuff like that done. So what we ended up doing is instead of inconveniencing everybody that we had because of that really terrible early system that we were using, and I'm sorry if that hurts people's feelings, but it was terrible. It made it so difficult for us to do an accurate job at registration. So we ultimately had to just kind of say, hey, did you register or didn't you? And most people, I would think, were honest, but there are obviously some that weren't. And that's okay. It's not your fault. That's on us. Okay. We created an environment where we made that a thing. So I can't blame anybody for that, except for us. And unfortunately, I didn't make the switch soon enough. Now, going forward, and yes, the PCWA is not finished, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Okay, I know a lot of you are aware of our financial situation, and I don't want anybody to freak out about that kind of stuff. And I appreciate so much all of the outreach and the donations that we've received, not just through the GoFundMe that was started by a young gentleman, 17 years old. His name's Paul, and then just the donations that have come through the website. I am so unbelievably grateful for all of that. But can't expect us to look at every single person with their shoes. Yeah, exactly. It's really difficult. Great. Yes. So we're not finished, but going forward, okay, what we're going to do with the registrations, we're going to stick with the Fair Harbor system. Okay. But the nice thing about that is the Fair Harbor system will be in play from the very beginning until the very end instead of just halfway through. And that sets us up it separates the Confederates from the Federals. It separates infantry from cavalry. It separates artillery and it already categorizes it. It already alphabetizes everything. And we won't have the problem that we had before. There's my guy, Dave, right there. Dave, we couldn't have done any of this without you. We're going to get to some of that. Awesome. Okay. So going forward, we're not going to have the struggles that we had with this event. And I do apologize to you guys for that. It was difficult. And I didn't want to stress anybody else out. And I didn't want to stress my staff out. I didn't want there to be long lines of guys just like, what in the hell are these people doing? I made an executive decision to just say, hey, we're going to do it on the honor system. I know that's not fair to some people. And I get that. But if you understand from the inside how much of a cluster that was, I think you would get it. But overall, it didn't, we had to adapt and overcome. And I think we did just that. So really fast, guys, I want to take a quick minute and just say thank you to a long list of people that really need to hear it. Okay. Obviously, the landowners, those guys dealt with us for a long time. They put up with us coming out there. They put up with us using their equipment, and Ken and Craig and Kevin were just out there all the time. I'd come back to the site and something else would be done. Whether it be something was blacktopped or an entranceway was widened or there was a culvert installed. These guys made it so easy for us. It's mind-boggling. You don't understand how blessed we were to have these folks to work with. So naturally, you can understand that some of my frustration, some of the things that happened at this event, I can assure you, if it ever happens again, I will personally deal with it. Because, for instance, some jackass drove his car straight through Kevin's yard, right across the farm's yard, and got himself stuck in a ditch. You, sir, are a jackass. Calling it like it is. Okay? The other person who could not deal with waiting for cars to come out of the entrance to the farm right in front of me. I was sitting on the gator, decided to drive around the cars because he didn't have the patience. Drove his little gray squish wagon, whatever the heck you want to call it, and drove it over the edge of an embankment and damn near flipped his car right in front of me. I screamed at him. I couldn't get turned around because I had to chase him and threw him out. If you're watching and you know who you are, don't come back to one of my events. You're not welcome. Okay. All right. Farms aren't the worst thing in the world. Overflowing porta-johns. Now that's a true disaster. Well, this is true. All right. Things were great in spite of the challenges. Hey, thanks, Paul. All events are going to be, are all events going to be at the Black Horse Tavern? No. All events are not going to be at the Black Horse Tavern. And we're going to touch on that a little bit. And I will talk to you a little bit about the conversation I've had with the landowners. We'll do that a little bit here today. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. Let me get some of these. This is going pretty fast. So I've been struggling mentally the past few months. This event was a clam in the storm for me, and it was just wonderful and good. I'm glad to hear that. That's good. Post-event feedback from the landowners. Were they happy with the event? Well, we'll talk about that a little bit. So initially, Ken was pretty upset. Just being honest, Ken was pretty upset. A lot of things didn't go like we had hoped. And his being upset, it was just a culmination of a lot of things. You know, people disrespecting the property, driving through the yards, okay? Things of that nature did not make him happy. Naturally, it's common sense. Things you just wouldn't even do at your own place. Some of these things people were doing, it's just, I don't understand that. But after Ken had some time to think about it, and we had a conversation later on, he understands that we can't control the weather. It's upsetting that the land got so mushed up with mud. That's upsetting, but he took it in stride, so to speak. He dealt with it pretty well. Like I said, he was frustrated at first, you know, and you have to understand something. These guys have taken a lot of pride in that property. If you couldn't tell when you got there, it was pristine. It's beautiful. Ken always wanted that place looking nice. He always wanted the property mowed. And he just, when you showed up out there, it was beautiful, always. So naturally, when Ken sees his property being torn up, and Craig as well, Craig's a very laid back guy. He doesn't say much, okay? But you know when he's frustrated. And I knew he was getting a little frustrated, you know, but driving in the same spot all the time, even when the mud was getting bad, you could have gone around in grass. It's just things like that were frustrating to Ken. But he had time to think about it, and he knows that, you know, we did everything that we could to make this happen. And that being said, people are asking, are there going to be other events at the Black Horse Tavern? The answer to that is not simple. All right. The answer to that is it's not going to happen next year. It might not even happen in 2 years. Chances are, if it happens, it's going to be in 5 years. We'll do a Gettysburg event out there in 5 years. The land's got to recover. Ken's got to recover. The man was stressed out the whole time. He wanted this to go off without a hitch. He was stressed about the hay coming off on time. You know, he was stressed about a lot of things. And he doesn't need that type of stress and frustration. He doesn't want to deal with that. And I don't blame him. You know, I talked to him a little bit. Hey, consider possibly doing a 3-year. But really, I think I'm okay with a 5-year event in Gettysburg. We don't want to overdo it anyway. It's already being overdone somewhere else. Okay, we don't need to overdo it. And besides, I can only give them ideas once every 5 years. I can't have them stealing my ideas every year. I digress. I'm going to kick it off over here to the comments because I want to make sure I get to everybody. Oh, that's all right. We already did that one. Yeah. Don't be the first time doing anything that requires this much coordination is bound to have snafus. Yep. Case in point, first bull run. Yes. Yes. Good point. It was absolutely amazing experience. Several of my guys are still excited for the Saturday night fight. Oh, from the Saturday. Good, good. That's the one fight I didn't get to see. Yeah, 5 years is good too. I totally agree with that. You know, I think that's, you know, hopefully I'll be there in person, but running the page that weekend was important. No, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't get to see it, man. Sorry about that. I think every 5 years for an epic Gettysburg experience is a great cadence that works really well for the Bentonville event. And yeah, and I think Bentonville is actually run by a state park, isn't it? I think that's run by the state. But so for as far as Gettysburg is concerned, we're probably not going to touch it again for 5 years. Hey, there's my guy right there. Here's my brother. I would like to do something, but again, I don't want to look. It's like the Lady Farm doing a Shiloh event and an Antietam event and a circus sideshow and whatever else they do out there all over and over and over and over again. Okay, it wears the place out, and then they don't change the setup until they get ideas from me of building a nice stone wall, putting the fence on it, and everything else they did this year that they've never done before. But hey, whatever. And listen, I said, it's our policy not to bash any other events. It's our policy not to do that. I'm not bashing them. I'm strictly stating fact. Take it for whatever you take it for how you want. How do you feel about doing a bull run? I feel like if we can find a place to do it, we'll do it. So I will tell you, I have to tell you, Matt, I'm going to agree with you on this one because okay, vulnerable moment here. Anybody that was standing near me while I was down there on the line, a couple of us, Bobby was down there, and we got down in front of people so not to block anyone's views. And as we're sitting down on the ground watching that take place, I got choked up. I literally choked up. I could not believe what I was witnessing, and the waves and waves of Federals that just kept pouring over that hill. And then the Confederates coming through the creek. I mean, holy shitballs. That was the coolest thing I've seen in reenacting since there was 20,000 people at the one GAC event, or was it the blue and gray? I'm not sure which one, but unbelievable. I just cannot believe that. And it really, so Friday night was definitely my favorite. And look, we did have issues. We had issues with authenticity. We had people that didn't really stick to the rules the way they should have. And I couldn't catch everybody. Guys, I was running the show. I just really couldn't do it. I really worked hard to make sure that you guys never ran out of firewood. If you got low, I tried to get over there and get it to you as quickly as possible. I was the only one delivering firewood. Bobby, and listen, my hat's off to them. I don't care what anybody says. Bobby busted his butt, okay, for this organization and this event. Bobby Small I love him. I love that dude. And everything that he did for us I just can't express how much gratitude I have for, to him and Dan and Doug for everything he did to keep you guys full of water. And we got low at times, and we may change it up the way we do it in the future. I don't know. I think it's good to have the remote sites scattered all over the place. That way you're always pretty close to an access to water. So the other thing is too, there were people that were upset about not having porta-johns closer to where they were. Okay, understand that the one mistake that I did make was I didn't put and I wanted to do this. I even put it on the map. We didn't put porta pots up there where the spectators were, and that's a long haul. I should have done that. So my sincere apologies to you guys, spectators who weren't up there and did not have access to a potty quickly. I apologize. That's a mistake we won't make in the future. Okay. The other thing that we will definitely do is be a little bit more clear about where you're supposed to go. Okay, so I was a little picky about this because it's so pristine out there. As you guys saw, it's beautiful, beautiful property, and I did not want to muck it up by just having these stupid little white signs everywhere. But I do realize now, okay, that people just need direction. I mean, and a lot gets lost in translation. I could tell one staff member, hey, I want to make sure you put these guys up here and push them back this way, track them around that way. And if they don't understand me, they start telling people something that they do understand. It's not on the same page with where I was trying to go with it. And it just created a mess. So again, that is all on me, entirely on me, not my staff. And that is definitely a mistake that we will remedy going forward in the future. I'm going to go ahead and pop over here to some of the comments. Had a great time, came from South Carolina. Well worth the trip, let me tell you. My legs were I bet it's a big place. It's a lot of walking. Imitation is, yep, I get that. Oh, thank you. Believe me, I could not have done it without the people that supported me. 110%. And there's so many yellow stripes. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. When Hunt's Brigade crashed through the creek into the flank of the Federals was awesome. Totally. Totally. Wish I could have been involved in the Friday battle, but being there as a crowd control was an epic way to participate. It's a completely different view, isn't it, Lee? When you're actually on the outside, you're used to participating. So to be able to see it from that perspective, how cool. I hope someone got a video of the Confederates come over the hill the first day. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure History Fix did that, and he'll be coming out with a video probably in about 4 months. You're going to probably have to subscribe to History Fix to see it. I don't know. I may be getting I'm supposed to be getting a copy of that, but we'll see how that all works out. You're still coughing up smoke and humidity from that Friday night. Honestly, that was the coolest thing. You know, when the Federals just opened up. I mean, they were the crispest. Is that a word? The crispiest, whatever, volleys that I've ever seen. In like, these guys were on point. They just crisp volleys, and the smoke had just filled the valley. I mean, it was like being there without the the blood and guts and the gore. Oh, what do you want me to do with that? Okay, my wife wants me to show you this. So Charlie Berry was up there, and he's a photographer, and he took this really cool picture, and then the green screen is going to take away from it a little bit because the top is green because it's trees. But if I move it, it looks like it's actually firing. He made this photograph of our Cushing's battery at the wall. Did a really great job with that. So huge thank you to Charlie. We won that at an auction for the Gettysburg past and present. We paid to make sure we got that. So you put it together, bro. You started it, and that's natural for you to tear up over your. I mean, it really just something. Okay, you posted a video of the first day's battle on the site. I don't know. I put your name on there. I'd like to know who we're talking about. I don't care. Love that my legs and feet hurt. The immersion for me was real. I teared up several times. That's awesome. You know, and again, you know, the immersion in teaching history is so freaking important to me. No, I posted the video of the battle, and you could hear your reaction in the background. Yeah, Lisa, yeah. You can hear me saying, "Oh my God," because I just could not believe it. How many of you guys got your shoes wet? You Confederates crossing through that creek, because I know the Federals crossed the bridge. Next event at Gettysburg, most people will know where to go as far as viewing areas, maybe bleachers for next. No. You're joking, right? Bleachers? That dog just ain't gonna hunt. I'll never do that. Oh, I have been reenacting for almost 4+ years. One of the most enjoyable. Was that 40 years or 4+? I'm glad to hear that. Okay. North Carolina stuff because we're going to use age 40 years. Okay, there you go. You corrected yourself. All right. So the authenticity thing, and since we're going to touch on this a little bit because the internet has exploded talking about authenticity and how we didn't do our job and enforce the rules. Guys, as an event organizer, I can only do so much of that. I'm focused on making sure if you hadn't noticed, I'm very reenactor focused. It's not that I don't care about spectators. Well, I absolutely care about spectators. But as a former reenactor, I'm reenactor focused. And I really wanted to make sure you guys had everything you needed at all times. I was focused on logistics. And then I didn't have time to stop and look at people's shoes under their dresses. I didn't have time for that. That kind of stuff falls back onto command staff and people that I had entrusted to enforce the rules. Okay. Because at the end of the day, okay, I was pissed off to see that there were kids. Guys, you didn't belong taking your kids out on the battlefield. There was no business doing that. And if I would have seen it, I would have asked you to go, not leave, get off the battlefield. Children didn't belong out there. It's as bad as having women following the army in dresses with ice buckets. It's just horrible. It doesn't look right. And it tarnished the event. And it frustrates me because we worked very hard, both command staff, okay, the countless hours of driving, countless hours of walkthroughs and planning, and everything that we did can be ruined by one person not following the rules and allowing your kid out on the field. Inappropriate, wrong, and I don't want to see it at my event again. I just don't want to see it. If I had seen that, I personally would have asked you to take yourself, your son, and go back to camp and sit this one out, because it's just not okay. You're not thinking about everybody else's experience. Okay. When you hear us talk about wanting an immersive experience, okay, that is an immersive experience for everybody. Maybe an immersive experience isn't what you're looking for. Okay. And if that be the case, there's another event right down the road that's perfect for what you're looking for. We want to do it right, and we want to do it better. Big events can, if you guys remember, like back in the day, I mean, we're going back. Authenticity, this wasn't such a huge fight. It wasn't such this, like, the guys were just doing it right. Okay. And then all of a sudden, people started getting soft. You got to start bringing out all your modern amenities, and you got to, and listen, if you want those things, that's fine. I don't want to sleep on the ground. Personally, I have a bad back. I broke my neck in a motorcycle accident. I want my cot, but I'm going to put it where a place you can't see it, in a tent, tied up. It's just gone. Okay. There's absolutely no reason to take away from somebody else's experience because you're selfish. All right. And unfortunately, a lot of that stuff took place. What was an unexpected takeaway from the event? Good and bad. An unexpected takeaway. I'm going to have to think on that one. I'm going to have to think on that one. Give me a minute. John, my dude, I can't thank him enough. Again, you're on the list. Hey, Tom, Independent Grays. Hey, what's up, my brother? We don't want to see kids or civilians on the battlefield either. The standards was a good idea. Most follow them. Right. And it's the truth. Most people did follow those standards. But what happened is you got these people out there just not giving a shit about your experience. They were only concerned about theirs. And that's not the way I roll, man. I care about all of you. I care about all of your experiences. And I want children. Don't get me wrong. I want children to come out here, and I want them to have an experience. Okay, 16 Bashi, the universal age for taking the field. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to. I'm going to get there. I just really cannot emphasize to you enough that when you do things your way and not the event's way, okay, it's really selfish and ignorant. I'm just being honest, guys. I'm a straight shooter, and I'm trying to tell you the way it is. All right. There's people out here striving and putting in a ton of effort to look appropriate. Their uniforms are on point. They put a lot of research and time and effort into it. And it's frustrating to these guys who do listen when folks that just don't give a shit show up and say, I'm not even going to put in the effort. This is why there's this divide. We can get away from this stupid divide if you just put in a little effort. If you just say, I'm going to just do a little bit more and care about the standards. If you can't wear shoes, go barefoot. I know it's a lot of walking, but you're at least trying. And some of the things that I've seen were just very frustrating. And the children and the sunglasses. Come on. Oh, eek. When I seen pictures of that stuff come in, I'm like, how did I not see that? God, just get rid of the sunglasses. Anyway. All right. So going forward, all right, I'm going to have more staff because we have more time to plan for it and more time to get people involved. And people, the honest to God truth is now people realize that we're true, we're real, and we're going to do this the right way. And we're going to do it again. And we're going to talk about when the next time is. And it's not in 5 years. All right. Hang on to that. We got something that we're working on, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. But as far as Gettysburg is concerned, things are definitely going to be done differently. Standards are going to be kept, and we're going to have people. And I know it's so frustrating, because you get these people that are like, it's just a guideline. People are here to have fun, and I get that. You are here to have a good time, but you're not here to tell the wrong story about the guys who died doing what they did. You're not here to do that. You're not here to shit on anybody else that's trying to do it right either. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay. Just keep that in the back of your mind. PCWA showed its care for us throughout the event. Most of us had a great experience, and like every big event, there were those that cared about their experience more than the overall experience. As a female and the company cook for the weekend, the rules and regs helped me keep it so simple, and I was able to enjoy my time more. Outstanding. Saw a ton of pictures with sunglasses. Yeah, Thank you. All right, should have people knocking down your door to volunteer now. Number one, that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that we get that, but it's going to be a different ball game. Okay, we learned a lot from this, and as you guys saw, I posted. I wanted to hear from you, and we did. And I listened to you. I turned off commenting on some of that stuff because I think we got what we needed out of it. And yeah, so guys, I want to say a quick thank you to Dave Ritter. Okay, Dave, man, you stepped up here at the last hour, and you put together an emergency medical staff and a fire staff. You did it like this, dude. I am absolutely blown away and impressed by what you did. You were invaluable to me, and I do hope that you'll work with us in the future. And I cannot express my gratitude to you enough. And also you taking care of the Boy Scouts and stuff that came out there, man, you killed it. Dude, I have nothing but respect for you. Jim Fox, I cannot say enough about you, man. You saved the event. You know how I feel about that. So for those of you who don't know, we were issued our permit relatively early. Okay, Scott took care of the permitting process after we had to let Belgie go for reasons we won't even talk about. Scott took it over and he banged it out. He did a good job. We thought we did everything right. We got the permit issued to us. The permit was revoked. Okay, that wasn't public. We didn't make it public. We didn't want people panicking. That permit was revoked for months. We had to jump through some seriously big hoops. Thank you, Cumberland Township, for allowing us to learn from that experience. No, truly, it was a learning experience. But Jim Fox, you really pulled us out of the ashes there. If you want to talk about seeing somebody freak out, you would have seen. I didn't sleep for days. And Jim Fox, you stepped up there, and man, you knocked it out of the park, and you saved this, and I appreciate you. So everybody on the PCWA staff that helped out, okay, you got Lisa, Taryn, Mo, Gretchen, Eric, my brother, who came out and helped out a lot. Scott, everything that you did to get this event done, the money that you put into it to help us get to there, dude, my hat's off to you. Lee, and there's 100 other people. I could keep going, okay, but it would take all night. But I really want to say a special thank you to Jim Stinson. Okay, this guy came out there and he ground it out for us, dude. He worked his ass off. He sweated his butt off, splitting wood, putting fence rails in, taking care of the trash. I mean, this guy did it all. And then when he got home, he donated $1,000 to the organization to help us out. Okay, I love you, dude. If you forever on my best friend list. I already talked about Bobby Small, but again, it needs to be said, he killed it out there. And everybody that wanted to give Bobby shit or me shit saying that Homespun's not going to get paid, I was about to hand Bobby a check for what he did. And he said, no, he didn't want it. Take it. Okay. So you could nix that shit right now. Bobby killed it. And he didn't ask me for a thing. All right. So I love him for that. And Dan Calhoun, who helped him out, and Doug Dubs, I mean, killed it. And Scheibe, man, my dude, Mike Scheibe, he came out there, dude, and he took over command of the artillery, and he took care of getting us all the water stuff that we needed. I mean, Scheibe, I love you, dude. I appreciate everything you did for us, man. And on the reenactor side, I just want to take a minute and say thank you, a huge thank you to all the command staff that really pitched in and made those battles awesome. Chris, Chris Anders and Lavis for crafting incredible scenarios. I had nothing to do with that. That was all them. Okay. And they did a freaking awesome job. And it really needs to be mentioned. Heath Fleming stepped up in Chris's absence when Chris disappeared all the time. Who knows what Chris was doing? I don't know. I love you, Chris, but Heath stepped up and he really took the reins and kicked ass out there. Heath, hats off to you for doing that. As well as the staff that helped you out. John, Andy, dude, you're my bro. You stepped up, dude, and you freaking took over that entire equestrian side of things. You handled business, dude, and you did it professionally. Yeah, I mean, you were frustrated at points, and just like I was, And, we all stressed a lot, man. There were times that we all wanted to throw in the towel. Believe me, it was not an easy process getting here. But John, man, I appreciate you sticking in there and doing everything that you did, man. My hat's off to you for doing such a great job. I also want to take a quick second to thank JD Petruzzi and his beautiful girlfriend Cindy for coming out there and talking and narrating the battle and stuff like that for us. And my hat's off to you. And as always, a good friend of mine, and I appreciate you doing that for us. And for Senator Mastriano for coming out and paying us a visit. We appreciate that. Guys, there's 1,000,001 other people that I could say thank you to. There's people that came out and helped us cut wood. The 7th Louisiana helped us put in the fences, and a whole plethora of other people that I could thank. But that's going to be it for now as far as who I'm thanking. You already know who you are, and if I missed you, I apologize. Somebody like Linda, okay, Ken's wife, she was out there rolling stones, man. She was massive boulders. She was rolling these things in there. She never complained once, and she wanted to be out there. You find me a landowner that would do stuff like that. These guys are amazing people, and they deserve our utmost respect. All right, going back here. So the reality is, without tons of policing, it falls to the company command. Take their name and unit next time they don't get prime spots. I mean, I get that. I was in some pain, a lot of walking. I'm handicapped. You gave me a ride, and Waterman gave me a ride. It was all worth it. Thanks, and been to a few. It was great. I live where New York orange blossoms are from. Can't think. Oh, good. Get your butt back to the 1760s. Yeah, that might be coming. The black guy on your staff driving the cart was awesome as who? I must have missed something.
Dustin's crew.
Now, hold on, who?
That was one of Dustin's crew.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So okay. You're talking about the security dude. Okay. He was our security, one of our security guys. Again, I want to thank them too. Dustin for coming out there and he did a great job. So why were there 2 events scheduled so close together? Shouldn't we just, okay, I love this question, and I'm going to answer it publicly, and I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and it is what it is, okay? Should we just come together and put on a 7,000 plus reenactor event? It's time to get over the petty differences and unify the hobby. Yeah, sure. Let's jump right on that. When I reached out to them, the other people, all right, and I said, hey, it's going to be better if we work together as opposed to working against each other. Oh, sure. Absolutely, Dustin. And when I started asking questions and they asking me questions, okay. All right. And I answer their questions because you can see I'm public about everything. I put everything out there, which is why they were able to take my ideas and build their stone wall and put their little wooden fence on it like I did. Okay. And put up their fencing, which they've never done before. They put like 20 foot of fencing up. Their sunken lane was pathetic. Okay. But when you get people that say, I give them the information that they requested. And when I ask them, hey, where'd you get your water? Hey, where are you doing your insurance stuff? Because we struggle to find our own places to do that. Okay. We can't tell you that stuff, Dustin, because that's proprietary information, which it's not. It's completely public, and I have access to everything. I mean, literally everything that they have. I've got access to it all. Okay. But it's just mind boggling to me that you can be so freaking petty and say, we're going to work together, and then turn around and stab me in the back like that. So you can think what you want. Okay. One, we don't want to do a bleacher sideshow. We don't want that. We don't want to operate a massive anniversary event on a postage stamp. Okay. And then do it at the same place where they do in another Antietam or Shiloh with their paper mache bridges and whatever it is. Okay. They don't take it seriously. And that is not okay with me. I take this very seriously. We put blood, sweat, and tears into this because we love it and we care about it. We care about your experience. And if you're going to tell me that you went out there and had a better experience, you're full of shit. End of sentence. I couldn't have done it without some of the best people in the world. All of my horse people. Oh, is that John? Yeah, man. Absolutely, dude. Freaking awesome. Dude, Steve Dacus, all of you guys, just freaking awesome people. It's always been this way, and likely always will. The Daniel Lady Farm event and this really aren't no, that's exactly my point, Thank you, Facebook user. I had fun at my PCWA Facebook page, Command Center in New Jersey. I think it monitored and improved hundreds of posts and pictures. I got to see the pictures. Yes. That's one of the nice things about being a moderator. We were more than willing. They were not. That's the truth. And honestly, 7K, there weren't 4K, there weren't 4K people that improve your standards and do a better event. I mean, that's what we want right here. Okay. Improve your standards, do a better event. That's what we're looking for. Again, I can't really make people, I can't really force people to do things. So from Louisiana, thanks for a great experience. Saturday night fight was spooky. I wish I could have seen that. Did anybody have pictures? Because that's the one thing I've not seen any pictures of. Nobody's got pictures of the tactical that happened Saturday night. I really wish I could have seen that. Our unit was boxed in on 3 sides. It would have been wiped out. As a rider, I didn't get to meet you or Dustin and his wife. That's the sucky part. Aaron. Yeah, I didn't see you. Hey, Patricia. So how many reenactors was there at ours? We had about 3,100. And I've never seen so many walk-ons in my life. I don't have an exact number because we didn't count it, but it was hundreds of walk-ons, hundreds of people walked on. Even cavalry, like half the Confederate cav showed up and just walked on. We formed Company D with the Western Alliance, best time we ever had. Hats off to you all and them. Can't wait to join them. Oh yeah, Brian did a great job. And Brian Crater and Dick Waters and everybody who just ran all that. You guys did such an amazing job. And I really do hope you guys will work with us in the future. Aside from some of the hiccups and things that we had, we're going to work more closely with you and make sure that we ascertain a little bit more of like what your expectations are of us. Keep in mind, Bobby runs Homespun Historical Ventures with his buddy Chris and some other folks over there, or Chad. I think I might have screwed that up. Chad, Chris. I never got a chance to talk to him, but those guys do more authentic events. They do like non-spectator stuff. Okay, and Bobby has a better line on that side, on that side of the hobby. Bobby's telling me, hey, these guys are campaigners. They do not want a porta pot right by their camp. And then I get one of those campaigners come to me and say, dude, why are we walking 3 miles for a porta pot? I was under the impression you guys didn't want a porta pot near your camp. So, so communication was a little bit of an issue on that. And again, we're going to work a little bit more closely with you and try to make sure that we're accommodating you a little bit better, in the future. And look, and listen, in the 72nd who was up in the woods, guys, if you're listening, please, when I ask you to keep your vehicles out of camp and stop driving up and down through there, please listen to me, because there was vehicles up and down up there that didn't belong. It should not have been happening. Next round of that's just not going to be a thing. So we're going to make sure we're going to be cracking down a little bit more on that. Cars in camps. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but there was a pickup truck from Texas parked in the artillery camp on the Confederate side. That dude, we said, look, move it or lose it. And it just didn't get moved. I towed the vehicle. Understand, guys, that when I say I mean what I say, and I'm going to do what I say. All right. I can't be everywhere at once, but if you're not going to listen and take your car out of camp, I am going to tow your car out of camp, as most of some folks witnessed and applauded as it was happening. All right, next event we will have my brother. I'll be there in person. So I'm going to go through a couple of comments, and then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what is next for the PCWA. You're going to definitely want to stick around for that. Pickett's charge was phenomenal. It was good. Okay, from where I was watching it, I got a little frustrated that it broke down a little bit. It's really hard to, once the battle steps off, man, it is very difficult to control everything, the noise, the shouting, and becomes just like it would have happened in real life. It becomes difficult to control that. But some things broke down there, and then we kind of had to shut that battle down because there was a real world heat injury, and we needed to deal with it. A world record, most reenactors in the field. First of all, I like where your head's at on that one, honey, but we couldn't handle that many people at the Black Horse Tavern, not without a satellite parking area. Yours was the event to attend. I did my first Gettysburg in 1981, and it hooked me. Good, man. Appreciate that. Can't wait to shake your hand, too. You're a huge influence on my impression, and thank you for answering my questions. One day we'll have a beer. Good stuff. I'd rather partnering with Homespun rather than a Daniel Eddy farm. Hey, just saying. You weren't joking. We saw the tow truck. Yeah. No, man, I won't play games with it. There's a reason we said these things. I don't do this. I don't have time for this bull crap. You should know that by now. Get your car out of camp where it's gone. Not in camp at the crest of the hill would have been fine, or by the water buffalo portage on. Need a few more directions for marking. Yeah, we're going to work on that. That's one of the things we're going to work on. Okay. Lee. 40,000 plus to beat the record of reenactors. Good. First of all, we couldn't handle it. There's not 40,000 people reenacting anymore. I just don't. And honestly, unless we stop trashing everybody, the hobby's not going to grow if we're completely shitting on everybody all the time. Your impression's not this. There are so many. And listen, Dave Childs mentioned this earlier, and he hit this spot on. He's talking about there are so many appropriate impressions for Federals at Gettysburg and for Confederates at Gettysburg that how can you even keep all that like in line, in track? So you that think you know everything about uniform culture and whatever and material culture, that's great. I respect you for the research you do. Believe me, I do. You got me beat. But there's a possibility you're wrong. Okay, stop acting like people, and I'm just saying in general, stop acting like you freaking know everything because you don't. Okay, authenticity is a journey. It's not a destination. So it's supposed to be enjoyed. It's a process, and nobody's going to want to do it better if you're shitting on them all the time. I'm just saying, stop shitting on each other. There's no reason for it, man. There's no reason for it. I get where you're coming from because you put in a ton of effort, and then you see these guys that aren't. You put in a ton of effort to say, yeah, hey, I'm gonna put in all this research, and I'm gonna make sure I get the right material. I'm gonna make sure people don't realize. Go to a trade blanket, and you can buy the jacket that has the right material. You can do that it's not that much more than you're paying for the Pakistani one. These guys are frustrated because you're not putting in the effort, but at the same time, it doesn't give you a right. You're not God. It doesn't give you a right to keep trashing people. We want to grow the hobby. People are aging out. Okay, there was a lot of older folks at our event that this was their last one. They're throwing it in. All right, we're not going to expand the hobby. It's going to get smaller because these guys are going to age out and quit. All right, and if we're not bringing fresh blood in here, now look, I will say this. Okay, the younger folks coming in are geared more towards the authentic side. It's a more realistic experience, and they and that's awesome. That's commendable. But doing events for yourself and like just to go out there and have this experience for yourself, no spectators, that doesn't make sense to me. To me, that's more like, hey, let's play dress up and go play guns by ourselves. And, what's the point? Okay, you're having a really freaking cool experience. And I get that. I can't say anything because I haven't done it. But the idea of this whole thing, in my opinion, is that we're teaching people. We're exposing people to the history, to the hobby. And it doesn't make sense to do it without an audience. And I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, by all means. My kids age 11, 9, and 2 appreciate all the work everyone put in. It is important for the younger generation to learn history, and there is a place for that, but not on the battlefield. I think the next PCWA event may be my last. Go out with a bang. Oh, even though I didn't attend, I want to thank you and your crew for all the hard work you put in. Thank you. Hey, I met you at the ball on Saturday night. How have you been, and what's the plans? I'm not sure who were. Can you put your name? I remember talking to a few people at the ball. I'll talk about my plans for the next one here in a second. I haven't reenacted in 10 years. I thought I was going to roll in and get pants for like $80. Boy, was I wrong. Definitely going to hit up ex-reenactors. Inflation's a beautiful thing. I've been to a reenactment with notators, and it was a lot of fun. Okay. I've never done that, so I don't understand it. You must be talking about Liberty Rifles. They are famous for being rude to new people. No, I'm not calling anybody out. I mean, look, here's the deal. Say what you want. There are some bad apples anywhere you go. I don't care. But the Liberty Rifles can put on one hell of a show. All right. Those guys, I saw their first Minnesota, what they did. It was mind-boggling to me. They looked amazing. They had it down to the guy when they were out there on the battlefield. That kind of shit is not easy to do. And I have nothing but respect for that. Okay. I have no respect for the people who feel like in the LR or whoever, wherever, they feel like they need to shit on people. So freaking stupid. I don't understand it. Like, why? Like, what's the freaking point? Does it make you feel like a big man because you're behind a keyboard and talking shit? God, grow the hell up. And I'm not pointing fingers at any one person. Okay. There are freaking mainstreamers who go out there and do it. There was people, mainstreamers blowing it up, talking shit on them because they don't want to go through, they think, oh, the LR's this. Stop. You're both wrong. You're both wrong. And it's both hurting the hobby. Okay. We tried to bring both sides of the hobby together. I think we did a great job. I honestly think we did a great job at that. Everyone works so great together. Chris and Mike and the entire command staff. It was a beautiful mesh of mainstreaming campaigners because people actually cared and put in some effort. There were some bad apples, but they put in and cared about it. Okay. And we can continue to do that. But shitting on people, it's so freaking childish and stupid. I just don't understand it. The LR does great event. Absolutely. There's no question about it. What's not true? Facebook user, can you tell me what your name is and tell me what you think is not true? I want to know. You are credits to the hobby. Come down to Chickamauga in September and I will buy you a beer. I would love to. The recent comment regarding the ball, I'm Finn. Wasn't aware it would put up. Do you think you guys might make some smaller quality events? Yes. That's coming here in a second. Oh, of course I know Topper. I like Ryan Topper. I don't like how he acts sometimes. But I think Ryan's a great guy. I've talked to him offline. I've talked to him in person. He's a little rough around the edges. All right. He's just one of those guys that I wish would try taking people under his wing a little bit more than bashing them. But again, Ryan puts in a lot of effort to do what he's doing. So, these guys do that. It gets frustrating when people don't give a crap. But yeah, I think Topper's a good dude. I like the LR. They have it down, but I can't stand how they put others down. That's not going to get you numbers ever. Myself, I had a few ask me to join after I saw how they treated newcomers. No, thank you. And that's the thing we're trying to say. There's no reason. Maybe a little more buy-in from the command staff for the medical scenario. Our plans didn't quite come to pass, but I am biased. We need their. Yeah. No. Okay. So I think because it was so hot and humid and it was uncomfortable with the moisture in the air. It was just like so uncomfortable. People just didn't want to do it. I think they were just tired and wanted to get off the field. So I wanted to see burial trenches being dug. I wanted that experience for spectators and reenactor alike. And we even had the permission of the landowners. But I think with those battles, they were so long, they were so drawn out that everyone was just done. Or like, I'm done. The taps blew and that was it. Yeah, rudeness is the weak man's imitation of strength. Yeah. Blake Thorne Topper is a really cool guy if you get to know him, but yes, he's known to be harsh on the mainstream side. True story. I'm an LR member, so yes, I know them, and I'm telling you it's not true. Oh, Scheibe. Okay, what's not true, Scheibe? Can you tell me what's not true? Are displaying, yeah, I don't understand why it's not showing up. And again, that's a StreamYard thing. Okay, so all right, guys, I think we've beat a dead horse here. Let's put this stuff behind us. All right, I think we can all work together, and it really comes from both sides of the hobby. And I think as far as the mainstream side, I think the camps all looked really good, except for the dickheads who didn't want to take their cars out of camp, who thought it was okay to just keep driving up and back and in and out of the place, even when it's all wet and sloppy. When you get here, park your car and leave it. Okay. Just leave it. I don't understand the coming and going and your headlights and other people. You're ruining people's experience, you jerk. Come on. I care about experiences. I wanted you guys to have a memorable, immersive, intense experience. And you're sitting in camp and guys are playing music and you're singing, and next thing you know, boom, high beams in your face. Dick move. We were all told to head back after the final day's event. Yeah. Vehicles in Federal Campaigner Camp was disappointing. God, man, that pisses me off. Spectator here would rather see giant armies clashing in the field than button for button authenticity. Well, from a spectator's perspective, okay, the reality of it is you guys aren't even looking that closely at what these uniforms look like. Listen. I can attest to this because I was looking at the line of the Iron Brigade when they were coming through to hit Archer, and I couldn't tell if that material is correct or not correct. And what I noticed was a bunch of black hats, a bunch of frock coats, and a bunch of corps badges, and they all looked incredible. They were under one flag. It was freaking awesome. Okay, I didn't notice if their uniform was the right amount of buttons. So from that perspective, I completely get it. So and do battles around the Charleston Low Country area and really get a decent 54th Mass unit going. That would be cool. I would love to be able to do that. First of all, I do not know too many black reenactors. And I'll tell you, pardon me, I'm willing to do anything in that department, but you're going to have to reach out to me. Okay. So if you know black reenactors and they're interested in getting involved in doing something big, hit me up because I'm all about it. I am all about it. There were a few marked graves over by the Hard Bridge. Yeah, that was pretty cool. We saw that. Yes. Okay. How about that Saturday Night Tactical? Talk about seeing the elephant. That was a hell of a lot of injuries, though. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see that. All right, guys. So I want to talk a little bit about where the PCWA is headed, where we're going. All right. And this is how we'll wrap up the show tonight. And Gettysburg is not a guarantee at the Black Horse Tavern in 5 years. It's not a guarantee. We have a lot to work out. And with Jim Stinson, as long as he sticks around and some of the people that I've worked with here on this event stick around and we can work something out that's mutually beneficial for the landowner and us and the reenactors, we'll be able to work something out. They have not closed it off. Okay, so keep that in the back of your head. Black Horse Tavern is definitely still in play. So that's a beautiful thing. It's just not a guarantee. Myself, my wife, and Lee are heading down to Winchester, Virginia, tomorrow morning, bright and early. We are going to be scouting some properties in and around Winchester. It's a difficult place to do it because there's not a lot there. So we're going to be looking at developed properties. We're going to be looking at things that are, it's up in the air. We're also going to head over to the Manassas area. So we're going to be spending time in Manassas and we're going to be spending time in Winchester this weekend. So do what you want with that information. All right. That's where we're looking at. And we're looking at it about 2 years. All right. So we aren't going to do anything next year. PCWA is not doing anything until 2025 minimum. So that gives us plenty of time. So keep that all in the back of your mind. We are definitely excited about doing something else. In the meantime, all right, I am looking at doing a timeline event. All right. I want to get multitudes of different, reenacted time periods. And I want to do a fundraising timeline event. And here's why. I don't want to say I promised, but I wanted to donate money to the Upper Marsh Creek Church. We just didn't have an opportunity to do that because I paid my bills. I took care of the landowners and I took care of the bills that we had to, and I still owe a bill, just one bill that we have left to pay. And I want to raise money by doing a timeline event. So pay attention to the page. And if you're interested in doing that, if you're a World War I, II, reenactor, if you're a Vietnam reenactor, 1812, Revolutionary War, I want to hear from you guys. I want your contact information. I want to know your units and stuff like that. Hit me up at info@thepcwa.org with that information. And then I'm going to start working on that because I want to be able to I want to take care of that church. They were gracious to let us up there. And I definitely want to do that. As close as that reenactment site was to the actual battlefield, there was something there. I have video footage of a guy commanding after I took a hit and no battalion around. Oh, if you're referring to this comment, he's actually talking about there were some marked graves. Somebody took a couple of sticks and twisted them together with baling twine that they must have found out there, and they stuck it in the ground, and they made an impromptu grave. Not a real, there's not real Civil War grave burials out there. It's just a, I can get a Roman legion to attend. That would be freaking cool. My wife would love that. That would be really freaking cool. Yeah, she's looking at, like, she perked up when you said that. So, all right, guys. So that's where we are. That's what we're doing. That's our plan. I want to go ahead and please don't do it in March or April 2025. Bentonville, Bennett Place, Appomattox, etc. No, we're looking at a September timeframe. Tentatively. There is, bring the Romans. There you go. So that's our plan. That's what we're doing. So again, I want to apologize to the spectators that came out there. We didn't have the appropriate amount of shuttles. Unfortunately, some of the shuttles were being run for other things. There was two 8-passenger, buses that we were supposed to be strictly just for shuttling reenactors, and then not reenactors during the battles. They were just supposed to be strictly run for spectators. And I ran a lot of folks around too, but we're going to do better with that one next time. Okay. Because we know it is a huge place. And we are going to do a little bit better on that next time. So I do apologize for that, guys. And I do apologize for the confusion where, we didn't have things marked out. So again, big mistakes, and it's on me. And we'll get it right. So thank you all for being patient. And really, guys, I do want to take a moment and say thank you again for all of the donations that you guys have poured in. I think we're up to about $7,000 now, and I really do appreciate that. Most of which came through the website, the PCWA.org. You can hit the donate button there. And then for that GoFundMe for Paul doing that, I really do appreciate your thoughtfulness in there, young man. So again, thank you all for doing that. Merch is available, guys, at the PCWA.org/shop. The merch is on the store. I am going to go ahead and add like magnets. People have requested magnets, and some people have requested like crew sweatshirts who don't really like the hoodie thing. So I'm going to see if I can add that kind of stuff to the store. But I do sincerely appreciate all of that. Any events during the winter? No, I don't think so. If you want one, we could talk about it. But again, the problem is finding a place to do it. Okay. So again, if you guys have suggestions, all right, about, hey, I know this farmer might be interested, or hey, Dustin, you could come to this place and do this. Let me know, and I will do all the work. I'll do the legwork. I'll make the phone calls. I'll do the driving. But if you have some ideas, let me know. It would help us going forward. Then why all the negative comments about mainstream units and the constant trolling? It gets tiresome to read whenever I look at the A.A.R page. PCWA Polo. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. This will be my last podcast here from the PCWA for a little while. I'll probably do another one when we get a little bit more information. We get a little closer to the event. We'll start doing these again. I really enjoy keeping you guys involved in this aspect. Giving you guys access to me and the organization is something that's never really been done before in the hobby, and I think the hobby needs it. I think you guys need to see and know what's going on and how it's being done. I really think that this is a great venue for being able to do that. So for all of you that have supported us along the way, my hat's off and my sincerest gratitude to all of you. God bless you all. Appreciate you so much. And hopefully we'll see you guys again here in the very near future. All right, guys, everybody take care, and we'll see you again here soon. All right.